Hey, it's Taryn with The Remote Yogi, and today I'm just going to share with you 3 things that I do to calm my anxiety really quickly. So if you've been a part of my blog or you've been following me on any of social media, I talk about mental health a lot. So I had a lot of depression growing up. I started to get into anxiety more through high school and college. And then I found yoga, and it really transformed my life, and it taught me how to calm my mind. But for the most part, for a long time, I was only ever feeling calm in my yoga practice or in my meditation practice. So I've been trying to cultivate some of the different steps I've taken over the years to really calm my daily life, and been working with a lot of friends and family, been working with clients to make sure that we are actively doing things every day to calm our anxiety that might not be yoga or meditation when we don't have time for those things, or when an anxiety attack starts to creep up at work, or we're in a place where we can't just stop everything we're doing to sit and be calm for a moment. So I'm going to walk you through 3 things I do to really quickly get my brain to calm back down so I can focus. Awesome. Number 1 is breathing. So this one seems really simple, but it's probably the best one that you can do when you're in a group of other people. So this practice allows me to focus in to find connection with my breath, which calms my mind down. And I can do this without many people noticing that I'm behaving differently or doing these breath moves. So there's 2 different ways of doing this, or you can go to my blog and look up a ton of different breathing practices. But the 2 I suggest is either simple ujjayi breath. It's just breathing in and out through the nose with a little bit of constraint in the back of the throat. We want to think of ujjayi breath like when we exhale onto a window or a mirror and we make that kind of fog effect. It goes, we want to use that same feeling on our throat, but with our mouth closed. It's really simple, breathing in and breathing out. So it sounds a little bit like Darth Vader or an ocean wave, and you can just sit there and really slow breaths in and out, maybe focus on taking each breath slower than the one before it, and just allow the brain to calm down. Now, another breath I really enjoy is called square breathing. The reason I like this one is because it really forces me to focus more so than ujjayi, which I'm really used to doing in my yoga practice. So square breathing is the concept of breathing, holding, breathing out, and holding for the same amount of counts. So I usually do 4 counts. So I'll breathe in for 4, hold for 4, breathe out for 4, and hold for 4. That's what it's called, square breathing. So I'll try this together. Breathing in, hold, breathing out, and hold. And you can just continue to practice that for a few rounds. This really just allows my nervous system to calm down and give me a little bit of clarity about not being freaked out about whatever little thing it is that I have on my mind that's freaking me out. Okay, so number 2 is a little bit weirder. Actually, the next 2 are a little weird, but this is probably my favorite way to just get things out of my body, is to shake it out, literally shake it out. So when we've got a bunch of pent-up energy, pent-up anxiety and thoughts, we've got to move it out of our system. So we hold that anxiety, that tension in our muscles. So one of the best ways to release it is to literally shake them out. So my favorite, when I'm just trying to be simple with it, is just to sway my arms around. So I'll stand a little bit wider than hip distance so I don't knock myself over, and literally just swing my arms around. And I might be smacking myself a little bit as I go, and that's okay. It's part of the journey, part of the fun. So you can do that, or you could just literally shake things out. I just love shaking things out. We do this a lot in Kundalini yoga, just shaking out the hands, shaking out the body. So even if you just go to the bathroom for a minute and you're like, in the stall, maybe don't make noise if you're not wanting to be weird, but just shake everything out, and it feels really good. And it just gets me out of my head and into my body, which is really a great tool for calming anxiety. Okay, last one, number 3. It's also a little bit weird, but it's a combination of movement and breath. It's called Breath of Joy, and it's one of my absolute favorite things. I'll teach it to you slow, but then I like to take it really fast, so then I forget about how goofy I'm being, and I just kind of flow and have fun. So inhale, you reach my hands up. Exhale, I give myself a hug. Inhale, I reach my hands up. And exhale, I fold forward, maybe a little bend in the knees. Inhale, reaching up. Exhale, hug. Inhale, reach up. And exhale, fold. So I might get faster with this. And I'm still moving with the breath. And I just do that a few rounds, and it feels good. I mean, we're hugging ourselves, we're focusing on breath, and we're moving the body in a way that kind of releases things. So it's kind of a triple whammy, combining all of those great resources. So I hope you try one of those the next time you're feeling a little bit anxious as a quick cool down. I'll give you a couple other tips on anxiety. I highly suggest you find people you can talk to about it. One of the biggest things that I've done in my life is find people I can trust. And when I get anxious thoughts, they're almost always very silly. When I can logically think through the worries I have and the illogical drama I make up in my head, it's very silly, but my anxiety thinks it's real and it thinks it's something I need to be worried about. So sometimes I'll just call a friend and say, hey, can you laugh with me for a minute? And I'll share whatever crazy thing is in my head, and they laugh and they say, yeah, that's crazy. And it's in a way that it's very like, okay, let me just let this go and stop worrying about it. Other practices I do is really taking inventory of my fears and rewriting those stories. I've got some great blog posts on limiting beliefs. And of course, I'm always here. If you want to chat, if you want to go deeper into fixing anxiety issues, chat with me. I've got a lot of great tips and would love to help you. See you next time. Bye.